What's going on, everybody? It's Jack and Lockie from the Hardwood Rundown podcast. We're back again. We've got a blockbuster episode.
Ooh.
Two historical, like probably the biggest rivalry in the NBA, Lakers and Celtics over the years. Both had pretty underwhelming seasons last year in getting the 7th seed. Episode 9 of The Return, I should also say, just to make sure everyone's up to speed with that.
Hey guys, this is episode 9 of The Return, in case you didn't know.
Bang. We really are here. We're capping like 20 episodes so far.
We're on the grind.
Yeah,
we're on the grind for sure.
Yeah, really excited for this one. You can start us off. Do the Celtics first, I think.
Yeah, all right. This is actually one of the more exciting teams next year. Lockie and I both have like solid expectations, but I think they'll just perform. I don't think they'll underperform or overperform. I think they'll just have a really solid year. This is all kind of dependent on health, like some of our teams have been so far. Like obviously, the Pacers and the Warriors were all kind of health based. The Pelicans as well. So I mean, I would say the Celtics are more health dependent in terms of like having, Marcus Smart missed a few games, Josh Richardson missed a lot of games. Schroeder was out a bit last season. Obviously Jaylen Brown with that big injury near the end of the regular season. But yeah, like I said, poor. It was a poor year last year. Like kind of considering all the star power they had. Obviously, you had injuries to major players in Jaylen Brown, Kemba, and Marcus Smart. Like I said, at just kind of bad times where you kind of couldn't afford to have an injury. Because it was kind of on the brink of the playoffs. Kemba obviously returned, I think, round 1 against Brooklyn, but kind of just too little, too late. I think if they had Jaylen Brown, if they had a full strength team, they would have beaten Brooklyn. I think.
Yeah,
I think they're very good, and I think Brooklyn weren't. They still didn't even have a full team. So if Boston had a full team, I think Boston could have gone to like the Eastern Conference Finals. I've got them. Well, I'll actually get to this in a sec. It was a great year for Robert Williams, the kind of coming out party.
Yes.
He's just like he's kind of like an old school big that's suited for the modern game. I don't know how better to describe it. Like for Boston's team, there's a lot of scoring from 1 through 4. So you kind of just need that elite rim protector that's really athletic. He's undersized, but it kind of works for the way they play.
Yeah.
Obviously, big year for Tatum, 26, 7 and 4. He is a star on the brink of superstardom, I think. I think this is his like not coming out year because he's already one of the best players in the league, but he's definitely he's going to be a superstar by the end of this season, I think. This guy can easily drop 30 a game with ease. I think in the Boston system now with Yumi Udoka coming in as head coach and Brad Stevens kind of moving back to that like managerial role that he hasn't. Well, he was kind of doing that while Danny Ainge was in front office, but he's kind of moved into that arena now, and I think it's a good sign because he kind of knew what the team wanted, and he probably didn't have a lot of control over it, but now he kind of does. So I don't know. I think it's like a recipe for success, if you ask me. I've got them winning 45 or more, so like a 4 to 6 seed area. I think that's where they're suited most. They could honestly make a push for a top 3 seed, but you got Milwaukee, Brooklyn,
Philly,
Miami, Philly.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of star power in that top quarter of that, top half of that playoff seeding. So I mean, yeah, I think that's a suitable spot. They could honestly like make a surprise push. Like honestly, like they're that good. They've got a lot of elite scoring power. I think it could happen. Rising star Robert Williams for obvious reasons. Elite rim protector, super athletic. He's a big body. Big body, big power. Most improved. This is going to be like a kind of not a stab in the dark, but kind of like he's on a really cheap deal and he's got nothing to lose really. I've got Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
I think he's most suited as a 6-man, and I think that's the role he'll play come the start of the season.
You reckon? Yeah.
He can just come off.
There, yeah.
Yeah, but like if you're trying to, I said there's no pressure, but if I guess like Boston is a good place to be a six man and prove yourself once again, like and try and get a payday. Most likely he'll be the sixth man. I hope. I actually hope he'll be the sixth man because I think that's where he's better suited. He can just come off the bench and score. He was really good off the bench in OKC, and he could definitely work some wonders for the Celtics, who kind of needed that bench scoring depth. Like Peyton Pritchard just can't do it all, really.
Yeah.
Team MVP, Tatum, absolute beast, Kobe-esque. The way he plays. My impact players. I did not put Jaylen Brown on any of these. Marcus Smart is stronger in terms of playmaking, but both defensive anchors. Marcus Smart can lead the starters. Josh Richardson can lead the bench. If that was the way they were to go, they can lead both sides of the ball. If they both have a good year from three, they'll both be dangerous. So yeah, I think they're both very similar in my opinion. I just think Marcus Smart's more of a point guard.
Yeah.
Sneaky star, not really sneaky anymore. He's kind of on the come up. Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
I just think he can shoot the lights out from deep, like from deep range. Great ball handler, can fit nicely as an off-ball shooter / combo guard. With either Smart or Richardson, or if go offensive load, Schroeder and Pritchard in the backcourt, that would be the worst defensive backcourt of all time. But if you just need a few buckets, like if you're just trying to, like if it's clutch time down the road, you need some scorers on the floor.
Yeah.
A lineup of like Schroeder, Pritchard, Brown, Tatum, Kanter, or Robert Williams, or Al Horford, who they've now signed. Crazy
as well, yeah.
Al Horford's very like he's old as shit, but he's that player whose game will never age.
Yeah,
like he's a big body. He can stretch the floor. He can play on ball and off ball defense. Good rim protector still. Not a great rebounder, but I guess having Enes Kanter and Robert Williams kind of makes up for that. So that is my preview of the Celtics 21-22 season, and I have high hopes.
Yeah. Before I'll talk about mine, what do you think their lineup should be like? Because they have so many lineups that they can put out there. What would your starting five be?
I would probably have Marcus Smart at the one. I think he's a really well-suited point guard for that team.
Yeah.
At the two, I'd probably go Jaylen Brown. At the three, I'd have Tatum. At the four, I'd have Horford. At the five, I'd have Robert Williams.
You had Horford at the four. Interesting.
I think he kind of fits. Like it is weird. It's hard to pick.
Yeah.
Like you could always go like if you go Marcus Smart, Josh Richardson, Brown, Tatum, Kanter. I think Kanter would probably. I don't know. It's too hard. It's too hard.
It's tough. Yeah.
Way too hard.
There's a bunch of different lineups, but I think they had that luxury of trying a couple of them out earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Season.
And this is why we have preseason, so you could actually try different lineups and see what works, see what doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell, Peyton Pritchard could be a starter. Like you never know.
Yeah, I predict big things for him. Probably not this year, but like he can definitely get a starter spot because they've been through a lot of point guards recently, and like it's kind of worked, kind of hasn't, and they need someone who can be that solid starter. But yeah,
Sure.
Celtics, I got them like +9. I go 45. I think they can definitely push 50 to 55, which is crazy. I know. But the reason I say that is they have all the role players that they have kind of like lost their way in the league. And they have the potential to be like really solid impact players on a contending team, like complementing Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like I look at Jabari Parker, Josh Richardson, Schroeder, Horford, and he probably won't get minutes, but Chris Dunn. Like those are guys like Dunn and Parker who haven't really shown their full potential yet. But I still think they can have like a really productive year on a team like the Celtics who don't have too much star power. They have two like 25 plus scorers, but then after that, it's kind of like you figure out where you go from there.
Yeah.
Sneaky star, I got Schroeder. I think he can have a bit of like a redemption year. I don't know. thinking about that. And Jabari Parker, I've always had high hopes for him. He's one of my favorite role players in the league. He should have stayed with the Bucks. If he stayed with them, imagine like a lineup of him at the 4 with Giannis at the 5, or like, you know what I mean? Like or him at the 3, Giannis at the 4 type of stuff.
I think the thing with him is that he's just so like, ever since he came in the league, he like tore his ACL in his first game or second. Like he's like,
yeah,
that kind of ruins you.
Yeah.
And then to come back and do it again, very injury prone, but damn, he can score the rock.
Yeah.
And like, I think he'll be really good off the bench for them. It kind of takes the stress away from all the stars.
That's what I'm hoping. He's so well-rounded as a scorer, kind of like Melo in a way, but more of an athletic slasher than Melo, because Melo's more like mid-range. But I still have high hopes for Jabari. Probably, obviously not starting, but he can come in and have his impact. Impact player, I've got Marcus Smart. That's pretty. Yeah, we kind of think of Marcus Smart when it comes to impact players. I've also got Enes Kanter.
Yeah,
he's always got like a really good passion about the game. No matter what team he's on, like he loves the city. He brings a lot of energy.
And he's back in Boston where he kind of had a lot of success.
Yeah,
like earlier, like kind of a few years ago.
Yeah. Hopefully he can kind of stay here for a couple of years. He's shipped around here and there, but I like Enes Kanter. Team MVP, Jason Tatum. I don't really see Brown taking that spot, but that's like doesn't really matter. They're still both star players. Rising star, Peyton Pritchard, whatever. And then I really like Carson Edwards, but I don't know where he fits at all with this team.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him even like maybe not the Hornets, but just somewhere where he can get some minutes off the bench and kind of prove himself.
Yeah.
But I really want to see Robert Williams like prove himself even more. I want him to secure that starting spot. What happened with Horford in Philly was that there's like him and Embiid. It's like two big guys who kind of need their space sometimes.
Yeah.
That's why I want Horford to come off the bench, which is weird because he's like one of the most like skilled centers of the past like 10 years. He's a stretch 5. Like I look at Celtics of having one of the best center rotations in the league because they have a bit of everything.
Yeah,
like a stretch 5, you can shoot, pass, post up, defend. You can play unselfishly, and then you got Enes Kanter, who's like an offensive double machine, and then you got the polar opposite, kind of like Robert Williams, like defensive double machine type of thing.
Yeah, you're very like that was like very like you're actually really right about that. Like they have like a lot of like big man versatility, and I think that's like what they haven't had for a while. And I think it'll just like make them so much better having different like because there's so many different rotations they can run. Ime Udoka is going to have like a fun time picking different lineups and like experimenting and seeing what works and what doesn't. Like, that's what I'm really excited about because we never know we never know who will start or who's going to have the big game. Like, it's kind of
that's going to be heaps interesting picking the lineups. But he has options. He has when you need to kind of lock down, you got Robert Williams who can come in, or you got Horford. If you need to kind of stretch the floor, you got Horford. If you need rebounds, go Kanter. Like he's got a lot of options. I'm really excited for the Celtics. They're not contending yet, obviously, but if you can kind of get some productive years out of Parker and Richardson complementing and Schroeder complementing what Tatum, Brown, and Smart are doing. They're unpredictable, but if they can play kind of characteristically with all their players coming together, Horford coming back into the system, I predict big things for them.
And like I kind of thought the Marcus Smart extension was a bit weird because like
you reckon?
Oh no! Like I just thought they would try and save some money for a few years, like for the next few years, and try and sign like a star that would actually come to Boston.
Yeah.
But now I kind of think like Marcus Smart is like he like like he's the heart and soul of that team kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
think like the money he got is like his market value. I think everyone's value's gone up the past few years, and I think Marcus Smart, like if I'm like as a Boston like fan, you would probably be very happy with that.
Yeah.
As like an onlooker, it's like, oh well, like why'd you just give that guy 20 million a season when like not 20, like 15 million a season when you can try and save that money and get a guy that can actually help you win. But Marcus Smart is very underrated, and I think people forget how good he is.
Yeah. He kind of has reached his ceiling, I feel, but that's a great thing to know. You know exactly what you're going to get out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 3 and D, good playmaking.
Everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Boston is
full hustle.
Yeah, Boston is going to be very exciting next year. Now we have probably the best team in the West next year. Very exciting. I'm actually like fucking so excited for this. Like, I'm a LeBron stan. Lockie knows that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. This just reminds me of like, it reminds me of Miami a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of veteran presence.
Yeah.
Obviously LeBron's like what, 8 years older now. But he's still in his prime. This guy's prime is never going to end.
Yeah, no.
42 wins last year, injury-ridden season, very poor. Great start to the year, really bad ending, of course, with all the injuries. I thought the Drummond signing was the worst signing last year. It was terrible. No floor spacing.
Yeah.
No floor spacing at all. AD is so much better as a 5. He's more versatile. He can actually stretch the floor. I just think, like, I still don't know. They must have just been in panic mode and just tried to, like, they saw a reasonably big name come onto the market. They're like, oh, let's jump on it. Let's get it.
Yeah,
but, like, the pairing was terrible. He barely played. And when he did play, he didn't even play like he was in Cleveland. I thought Cleveland was a good spot, to be honest. And then they kind of said, we're going to trade you. And then he didn't play much. And, like, I'm glad we got Jared Allen. But, yes, THT, Talon, Horton, Tucker hitting his strides. Not really much else to really say about that. He's just he's kind of like a complete package, and he's a very underrated like young player. And I think working with LeBron, playing with LeBron, has kind of helped him a lot. AD missed half the season, had probably one of his worst seasons, 22-8, but still, like 22-8 is like, I'm gonna take that on any given night.
Yeah.
LeBron, like, he doesn't regress.
Yeah.
He doesn't regress. He missed almost half the season, 25-8 in all the games he played. That is like, shit's crazy. Like, he's been averaging like 25 to 28, 8 to 9 on rebounds and assists for like the past like 12 years.
Yeah.
He's just, he will never regress. I think he'll have a similar type of year. I think he'll lead the league in assists, which is a bold prediction. I think it's bold, but
no, I think he will as well.
He should lead the league in assists because, like, look at all the star power he's got behind. Well, the retirement home he's got with him. The Caruso is no longer sad face. But I kind of thought it was he got a good deal, and like, I'm not really even mad about it, to be honest. I like him in Chicago. Not signing Schroeder to the extension is a major W. Like, major. I'm so glad that Dennis Schroeder declined that. I feel bad for him that he didn't accept it. But my man missed out on a payday. And we're doing a podcast episode, and people are walking into the office. An update from the other day, they signed Deandre Jordan to a 1-year, 2.5. Good fit. A lot of old players, but they're all players that know how to win, and I think that's going to be the recipe for success. Here's my predictions: 50 plus wins. I think that's like reasonable. They could easily get 60.
Yeah.
1 to 3 seed, probably this. I don't know. I think Jazz will have a really good run again. I think they'll be like a 2nd seed. Rising star, Talon, Horton, Tucker. He can run the offense when LeBron isn't there. He can hit big-time shots, as we saw when LeBron wasn't playing. His IQ is a little bit questionable, taking shots late in the shot clock, or early in the shot clock when you're up by 1 with 30 seconds to go. And he somehow made it off a rebound that he somehow got. His IQ was a little bit questionable. He's got really good defensive upside. He can shoot the three. He can create his own shot like in amazing fashion. And yeah, I just think he'll have a really good year. Hopefully, probably come off the bench, or he might start. I don't know. I think he's better coming off the bench. He kind of can lead the offense.
Yeah,
a little bit. This is a bit of a stretch, but I see it coming. Most improved Carmelo Anthony is going to have a big year. I just think working with like LeBron and Westbrook, I just think it's like a wonderful combination. It's a recipe for success. 3 to the dome. And I think Melo is going to average like 15 a game. I just have 15. Man could easily average 20. God. Well, as you get older, your jump shot your shooting just stays the same kind of like and that's where most of his points have come from. He's a great post worker. Probably one of the greatest post players of all time, if you ask me. Great 3-point shooter. And all those types of players will work with LeBron and Westbrook and AD. Here's my lineup. Westbrook. Fit anyone else at the 2, I don't really care. Wayne Ellington is actually not bad. LeBron, Melo, and AD.
That's a championship team.
It's a recipe for success.
That 2 spot is like the determining factor, I think.
Yeah, but like even then, they don't like they got Wayne Ellington, good shooter, like elite shooter probably. Yeah. Malik Monk, you got off the bench. Rondo, like I don't know, Rondo ain't starting. Fuck that.
Yeah, Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn. Yeah, like, but yeah, I just think Melo is going to have a huge year, like a return year, even though he's 37, 38, can't remember. But I'm excited. Team MVP, Anthony Davis. Kidding, it's my guy LeBron. I saw
worried there.
LeBron is going to average probably like he could probably average like 26, 8 and 10 probably. That's my prediction. Impact player Anthony Davis. He is the best 5 in the league when he's playing at the 5. I think he's the best big man in the league when he's playing at the 5.
Does he like playing the 5? I swear I saw something where he didn't want to. Or
yeah, I don't think he likes playing the 5, but I think he's kind of gotten used to it now because he's so good there. He's he's a mismatch nightmare because he plays like a guard. And he's playing at the 5. 4 or 5 I think works, but I think he's a 5. He's a 5. He's got all the tools to be a center. And I just think he's going to have a massive year. Hopefully he stays healthy. Back issues are a little bit hard to get around, but I think he'll be all right. Sneaky star, I've gone Malik Monk. He's got no pressure coming off the bench. He's athletic. He's a great shooter, decent playmaker, and he can just come off the bench and just score, really. And it's kind of like the same scenario with Kendrick Nunn. Like, you could pick either of them. I just think they're both very good complementary pieces for the team that they have. Will they win the championship? I have no idea. This season is going to be too hard to predict in terms of like who's going to win. In terms of like experience, I would probably say the Lakers will win. But no, I did not pick the Bucks to win this year. Anything can happen. The whole Nets team could get injured. Ben Simmons could have a 30-point a game year. Kidding, that would never happen. Who knows? It's too hard to predict.
Yeah, this is so hard this season. I swear there's like 4 to 6 teams that could win.
Yeah, LeBron is going to make a case for MVP. He's the MVP pretty much every year. Man, if he like, there have been times where he could have won MVP multiple times, and they just, I don't know. I just think he's consistent. He's never going to regress. He could be 40 and still be dropping 22, like 6 and 8, like whatever. Yeah. I'm excited for the Lakers, and I think you are too. So let's hear your stuff.
100%. I got him Lakers 55 wins, so like plus 13. I see huge improvement, and I can definitely see him pushing 60. A lot of things go into that, a lot of factors, but I can definitely see him pushing 60 wins. Sneaky star, it's similar to Rising Star, but I got Talon Horton Tucker. I do see him as a starter. Hopefully, you can't go wrong with like a Wayne Ellington there, who probably will be the starter. I feel like at the 2, but
which is so weird.
Yeah, like the fact that how old he is, but it works. Like he's been an elite shooter his entire career. Impact player, I got Westbrook, which is he's a star player, but just like with his energy, his intensity, and just like how he kind of does everything. Whether he can fit in this offense is like I'm not sure about it, but giving him the ball when like Bron is out, I feel like that will work really perfectly. Because like while Bron's out and even while AD's out of the game, Westbrook can have kind of free range to do everything. He's got shooters around him. He's got he's got Melo next to him. He's got Kendrick Nunn. He's got Malik Monk. He's got maybe Ellington as well. Kent Bazemore as well. They signed him.
And they got Chris Paul off the bench as well. Like I think there's just
that's another interesting thing as well. Rondo.
That is very interesting.
Because he started some games when he was with the Lakers initially, and that worked. Pretty well. But they just like the Celtics, they have so many lineups they can go to, so much freedom, and you can really create a lineup that allows Westbrook to shine for a couple minutes, and then that allows AD to shine for a couple minutes. Like I see a lineup with like Rondo and AD, and then just playing that 2-man game, and they'll just go on a run. So they have a lot of options there
for sure.
Team MVP, Melo. No. LeBron is the GOAT. The Space Jam.
The Space Jam.
Let everything. If you guys seen on TikTok all the memes, people are getting LeBron toys and blowing them up. It's the funniest thing ever.
It is funny.
It's just so weird. Anyway, I feel bad for his kids growing up and looking at that and like, Anyway, Rising Star, Kendrick Nunn. I really liked him in Miami, and I hope he can get a chance to shine with LA. Him and Monk are kind of similar. They're shooters and scorers at the same time, so they've got plenty of potential there. Yeah, so I've got questions surrounding the minutes, but they did this a couple of years ago when you have so many like solid players. They made it work and they won, So I don't have any worry about the role players fitting in. I wonder about Westbrook. Everyone's wondering about whether Westbrook can work in this offense. I feel really confident he can. I don't even think he needs to be. He's not going to be a catch and shoot player. Bron wanted him to come here. They even they know the limitations of him, but they understand that with a guy like Westbrook, you just got to let him do what he's good at. You can't force him to be a spot-up shooter. You can't force him to be anything else but the player that he is. So I think he's going to fit pretty well. I wrote this yesterday. I said, I don't believe they are contenders. And I don't know. I didn't say, I say contenders as in like in the top 2. I only say that because I don't know how everything's going to fit. Like I do think it's going to fit well, but if things aren't going well, there'll be a mid-season trade that always happens with LeBron teams, and whether that works out for the better. Like look at what happened with the Cavs. They had Derrick Rose, they had Isaiah Thomas, they had Dwayne Wade, they had Jay Crowder. Like look at how that worked out.
That was the true retirement home.
That was a true retirement home. So I think of that and I'm like, I don't know if this will work. But LA, this team is a lot better than that Cleveland team.
I kind of get what you mean though. Like I get it, but I don't know. I think it could. I actually think it will work. I actually think it will work. And LeBron and West, they're all boys. Like I don't know. I just think I think people are skeptical about the Westbrook and LeBron combination. But LeBron can play off. LeBron is an off-ball player too.
Yeah, 100%.
So when Westbrook needs the ball, yeah, sure, LeBron plays off ball. When LeBron needs the ball, Westbrook is kind of like he can just kind of post up. Like it's kind of weird. Like you got AD and Westbrook that are kind of really good. Westbrook is really good in the post. AD is elite in the post, but like AD can actually shoot. And if you're trying to play through Westbrook, put him in the post. There's going to be no, besides maybe Ben Simmons, there's going to be no big in the league that is strong enough to defend Westbrook in the post.
Yeah.
And he's a very underrated post player. Very underrated. I think the concept works. But again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. And I said it before, they're similar to the Celtics. Their center situation is kind of weird. You have Marc Gasol who can do a bit of everything, but he's like the slowest of the bunch. And then you got Dwight and Deandre Jordan who are like the same player. So I wouldn't say as versatile as the Celtics big man. And obviously you got AD, but he's there's no way he's losing minutes or he's being shipped around. They just got to figure out who's the best next to AD. If you want to keep AD happy, play him at the 4. If you want to win, play him at the 5 and you have Melo at the 4. Or even LeBron at the 4, and then you can bring on more guards or see how that works.
Sure.
Yeah, we're really excited for the Lakers. They're always we always go into every season being like, oh, Lakers, like, because they're the biggest market in the league probably, and they have one of the best players of all time, and one of the best bigs, probably the best big in the league. They have so much that to be excited about. I think they'll play a really fast game, and that's going to be really fun to see on the fast break. Not only have you got Westbrook and LeBron who can go coast to coast, you got AD who can run the floor, and then you got a bunch of shooters everywhere. It's going to be so exciting. And then like Malik Monk is another one who's very athletic, and he can kind of prove his worth by running the floor. So that they're going to play a fast style, I hope. Really excited for the Lakers.
Yes, it's going to be a very good season for both teams. Final thoughts from me. They're two very versatile teams, Boston and LA. There's a lot of experimenting that's going to happen. And I think both teams are going to take a little bit to get going. Yeah. More particularly the Lakers, I think, will take a little bit. Boston are really exciting. They've got a young team now. Well, actually, like they've got a young team, but they've got a lot of experienced veterans as well. And I think that's going to help them in the long run. And the Lakers, wow, that was so much crazy. Shit. The Lakers are going to be, I'm beyond excited. Excited would be an understatement for the Lakers. Yeah,
they have so much to be curious about. I want to see Westbrook get his ring. Finally, he really deserves it. Him and like Melo and CP3 and Lillard are those guys who we've kind of grown up with as fans, and they just deserve something to show for it. They deserve a ring. He gets so much criticism, Westbrook, but he's the hardest working player in the league. I'm really excited. Go Lakers.
Fuck yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you just watched episode 9 of The Return, as Lockie forgot to say at the start. Next episode, we got Portland and Miami, which is going to be another fun episode. Shout out to Michael Napoli.
Yeah,
Portland Trailblazers fan. And Mark O'Brien, if he ever watches it. Next episode is going to be very exciting. We're coming near to the end now. We got 6 more. No. Yeah, six. Yeah, 6 more after this to go. And we're coming fast.
We're coming hard. Pause.
Damn it!
Just had to make it weird.
So thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Make sure to comment pause down below.
Let's
get a thread going. Oh yeah, maybe no pause. I don't know.
I got my socks on. Yeah, it's all good.
Can't wait. Can't wait. All right. Okay. See ya.
All right. See ya. Whatever.
Okay.
Why are you
Bye.
still here?
Yeah.
Whatever.
See you later.
Don't care.